Hey, remember that time you said that ketchup didn't go on a hot dog?
Yeah.
And then our entire Facebook group proved you wrong?
No, an entire group
my
of
bad.
heathens
90%.
that are on Facebook. No, 70%.
70%? No, it's like 90%, bro.
You all are adult babies that don't know what good food is.
Look, so we're having like a little staycation, and we're making hot dogs. And for whatever reason, I can't remember the order of events, but we were making the hot dogs, and you were like, you only mustard. You don't put ketchup.
Not only mustard, but you just don't put ketchup.
You just don't put ketchup. And I was like, that's not true. You're wrong. Of course you put ketchup on a hot dog.
Nope.
And I proceeded.
The Worldwide Hot Dog Federation does
Made
not
up. Made up. So what I did is I purposefully didn't make my hot dog how I usually make my hot dog, just to make you mad. I usually do ketchup, mustard, and mayo. And if you haven't tried mayo on your hot dog, I've got news for you. You are missing out. It is amazing. So I only did just ketchup, just to piss you off. Backfire. It's better with the other stuff. But.
Ketchup, I feel, is like for kids, it's normal. And then when you become an adult, you should phase out of ketchup. At least not on everything. Like, there's so many better flavors.
Ketchup is so good, man. It's vinegary. It could
sweet. It could be because my wife loves ketchup, and I do 90% of the cooking, and I'll spend a lot of time perfecting the flavor of what I want to make. And the first thing she'll do is just glob ketchup on something, and it enrages me.
Oh yeah, that would piss me off.
It just enrages me.
Yeah, you don't put steak sauce on a good steak either. It's that kind of stuff.
Welcome to KonKon's Cantina. Grab a drink, sit back, and relax.
I can't stop watching the Mario Kart arcade machine behind
I know.
you. It's like, man, I want to play.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy, it's KonKon. Back at it
We
again.
back.
And we're in a different location. This is the nice thing about having a mobile studio. We're everywhere today.
Today's a big day for us.
Today is a big day. We are recording a bunch of episodes, and we are having our second Patreon episode.
And we're making kind of a vlog style little video, so you guys, because I think a lot of people, it's hard to understand exactly what our Patreon episodes are.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make a little behind the scenes and lead up, so you can see everything that goes into it, see why they are so much more special, I would call it, than a regular episode, because of everything that goes into it. And
This episode's going to be a minimum of 5 hours.
Oh yeah, because we are doing an extended cut of a movie, which you only will know if you're a Patreon subscriber. But it is an extended cut second movie in a series of movies that is extremely long.
Here's a little hack. You can subscribe for the $3, get the episode, and then cancel.
Yes. Hopefully you'll forget you're subscribed, though.
Exactly. Pay my water bill. What is up, everybody? This week, this is episode 80. We are talking about Bad Batch. We are going to be talking about episodes 5, 6, and 7, which I'm kind of happy that life events kind of made us do it this way.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling this, at least the way the show's been going. It might be more interesting to cover in clusters.
Yeah.
Because this is way better than if we would have done one of these episodes individually.
Yeah.
Because everything is kind of like a little mini arc of a story.
Yeah. And, of course, guys, really quick housekeeping. Rec shirts. We do still have some rec shirts if you are interested in a rec shirt. Big Cartel does not allow us to update the sizes, so please message us on the Instagram, or if you know us personally, shoot us a Facebook message, and we can tell you what sizes we still have left.
And we still have our Cantina shirt.
Yes, we still have the black.
That's our bargain shirt. That's
the
one
bargain
we
shirt.
made specifically, priced as cheap as possible, just so people who like the show and want to support the show, they can rep the Cantina when they're out and about.
Yeah, and we really, really appreciate it. And, of course, you can support this podcast by not only Patreon, but you can also like and review. Word of mouth and reviews is still how we get most of our new listeners.
Or just send us Cash App money.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm fine with that.
We're like girls on Instagram. We just have our Venmo in our handle, Like... Really quick, we do have a new 5-star review from Goku Wannabe.
Okay. All right. I already like his screen name.
I already like it. 5 stars. Absolutely love the podcast. You actually make me look forward to Monday. I love all Star Wars and passion that everyone brings to it as well. I love your theories and your perspective on different things, even if they infuriate me because they differ from mine. That's what we do.
Well,
that's what we do.
That's how you enjoy something, is by hearing other sides of the same coin.
You've taught me quite a lot about Star Wars and related to, and what has even motivated me to start reading some of the books.
I'm assuming that's me.
I am on the first Thrawn book, and it is amazing. What's up? And even though I cannot drink yet, I still enjoy hear you guys give detailed reviews on whatever you're drinking. Again, love the show. Keep it strong.
What's up, Goku?
What's up, Goku?
Kakarot. Let's go.
Listen, I'm going to be your Vegeta, okay? So whoever you are. Actually, I meant to tell you, whoever this is, send us a message on Instagram and give us your address, and we're going to send you something.
Yeah, we got some freebies for you.
Yeah, we got some stuff
swag.
to send you. The agenda of this episode. Of course, we'll be talking about Bad Batch episodes 5, 6, and 7, and we won't be having a special segment, and we won't be talking about news, but check out our bonus episode. We're going to be doing a bonus episode on Sith Rey, little preview for that, and we are going to have a lot of news because there is quite a bit of Star Wars news to get to. It's just this episode's going to take longer, so we didn't want to
3.
Yeah, we didn't want to overfill it, but we are a Cantina podcast, so we're going to go into the Cantina right now.
I'm not excited about my drink this week.
I'm going with Old Faithful.
Welcome to KonKon's Cantina. What are you having? But remember, no droids.
Justin, you go first.
So I picked up a New Belgium variety pack.
Yes.
One of my all-time favorite New Belgium beers was in the variety pack, which is the 1985 IPA, which is one of the Voodoo Rangers, and this is the one where the skeleton guy looks like he's straight from Back to the Future, 1985 style.
Oh, instead of like the Park Ranger look?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll show it to you when we go downstairs.
Okay.
But the other 3 beers, there are 4 beers in this variety pack, I had never tried. So I was like, I love this 1985, so let's get this. We'll try the other ones. I don't know how I feel about this beer. It's still sealed, haven't opened it. It is a New Belgium Heavy Melon, which is a ale that is watermelon and key lime flavor.
It sounds like I'd love it immediately.
It's a 5%er. They describe it as being a very crushable beer. So I haven't tried this yet. My prediction is this is going to be something that's not going to be super heavy flavor, and
Put it up
would
to the
be
camera.
It
Let
would
the
be
people see.
It would be a good outside hot weather drink, is my guess. So I'm gonna crack this bad boy open right now.
I'd love 2 of those in a 32-ounce Yeti while I'm mowing the grass.
That's what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's gonna be like just chilling inside drinking.
And that might not pair the best with like what we're eating today.
Oh my! It is heavy watermelon.
Really?
Heavy
It said
watermelon.
It says heavy melon.
I guess it's literally what the description is.
Dude, I smell it. It smells like watermelon candy.
I don't know how I feel about this. I'm a little confused. It tastes almost...
I drink the crap out of this.
It tastes almost like a watermelon Jolly Rancher.
The aftertaste is what's best.
It's like a watermelon
Jolly
Jolly Rancher. You know what I'm saying? It's that heavy... I don't want to say artificial, but like...
It's artificial.
But like that...
yeah, it tastes like a Jolly Rancher watermelon.
I don't get any of the lime notes. I'm going to try a second sip here.
Yeah, I can't say I get any of the... That's a 7 out of 10 for me. That's really good. I'm digging it.
I think this is a very conditional beer, though.
100. Like I said, that's not going to go well with what we're eating today.
I definitely agree with the crushability. If we were outside, or you're hot, or you're pool day, beach day, something like where you're in the heat, this would be so refreshing. Inside, it's not hitting me exactly right. I give this a 6 out of 10 Mandos.
I went 7, so not too far off.
I think if it was a dead hot day and I'm on the beach, it could get a higher rating, and I appreciate that factor of it. But for right now, there's nothing gross about it. It's very, 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 very heavy melon, hence the name. Definitely pick up this variety pack so far, because that's 2 for 2 winners. Even though this isn't the highest ranking, it's still a winner.
Yeah, I want to try the variety pack. I didn't go special. I did bring some special beers today, but I've already rated them. Right now, I'm just drinking Red Stripe.
You can't go wrong with
Dude.
Red beer.
Red beer. Right now, it's not hitting right for me right now, though, but it is still good. It's 4.7. The bottles you can't beat. I love the little glass bottles, and they
stubbies.
fit. Yeah, and they fit in the
Oh, the little Yetis, like the
Keep them
screw down. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to slam them. I mean, Red Stripe, you got to give Red Stripe a high rating. It's such a good lager.
It's one of my favorite go-to beers, which I really wish was easier to find, because I think we've talked about this one of the other times.
It's not the cheapest either.
It's not the cheapest, and it's not the easiest to find. Like, you can't walk into
7-Eleven,
a Walmart, a 7-Eleven, Target's hit or miss. Publix seems to have it.
Sam's is where I got this, and I got a 12-pack for $14.99, which is the best deal that I've seen by far. Yeah, it's like $1.20 a beer or $1.15 a beer.
Have you ever had a Red Stripe when you're in Jamaica?
Mm-mm.
So they are.
Or they've got to be different.
They're slightly different. They're higher ABV. I can't remember what the exact details are. I
swear that when they came out, they were higher, and they've gotten lower.
It's possible. I know in Jamaica they're a higher ABV, not like massively. It might be like a 5.8 or 6% as opposed to the 4, whatever that is.
I swore they were a 6, and now it's a 4.7. Anyway, still love it. Red Stripe is always a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10.
I give it, for me, sits at a 7.
Yeah, it's really good. Bad Batch.
Let's go.
So, really quick overview. We have Bad Batch Episode 5, which is called Rampage. We have Bad Batch Episode 6, Decommissioned, and we have Episode 7, which just aired yesterday.
I think these each progressively get better
Battle
by
Scars.
each episode.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Really quick, if you out of 10, what was Episode 5 for you?
4.
4. When I first saw it, it was a solid 6. And that's because I thought that Mochi was going to be the same Rancor.
Same Rancor, yeah.
And it wasn't. I really liked seeing Bib Fortuna, kind of reprising his role. I like seeing that deep cut stuff, especially in this era. I mean, we're approaching, we're getting close
to working towards A New Hope.
We're working towards A New Hope.
Or Rogue One at least, Rogue One even sooner.
Yeah, and
Clone Wars, Rebels,
and that's I'm waiting for a name drop from one of them, because I think that we're gonna get to that at some point.
You think we're gonna get like a Hera or a...
Dude, imagine.
Yeah.
Because Rex meets up with them at some point. We're getting close to that now. Rex, he doesn't have his beard and everything yet. We've still got some years to progress where he does meet them, but I think we're headed in that direction. So, Episode 5, Clone Force 99. They're headed to Ord Mantell. And of course, when they get there, they're met by Fennec Shan. So finally, we have the appearance of Fennec. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm gonna butcher her name. What's the voice actress name again?
Ming-Na Wen.
Dude, so glad to see her obviously doing the voice.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've had the actress or actor be the live action version and then go to cartoon.
Yeah, it's been the other way around previously.
It's been the other way around. So that was really cool. So the reason why they're going there is because they're trying to meet Sid, which was a person that Echo knew due to the Clone Wars.
Yeah, some type of Republic informant. I think is what they said.
Yeah, that's the word, informant. And so they go there. Now, we've heard Ord Mantell before. We've heard it in Phantom Menace. I believe it was due to pod racing is the reason why we got that. But so, of course, they go to meet Sid. They've never actually seen Sid.
In a seedy area of town.
And we have the Dodo Clone Force 99 not being able to pick up that this is Sid. They talk to this old Trandoshan lady.
Omega figures it out right away.
But isn't that true, though? You kind of see that sometimes, the little kids get it before the parents,
Yeah.
That's not something we've never seen before. But so Omega figures out that it is Sid. Obviously, she kind of uses her kid logic. She just puts 2 and 2 together, and basically that now we're getting into kind of I think where the show had degraded for a little bit. We're getting into that video game-esque. Do this, get this.
Yeah, and I what I felt is this is kind of the start. Season 7 of Clone Wars was handled differently than all of the rest of Clone Wars because Clone Wars was notoriously jumping timelines.
Yeah,
which if you didn't know that, it would make no sense to you, or was hard to follow that show.
Yeah.
Season 7 of Clone Wars was linear in the story that it told, but it did mini arcs.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is how Bad Batch is starting to go. We had that first episode, and then the one after that was kind of almost like a 3-episode arc if you broke them down in the 30-minute segments. Then we had a weird, not much happening segment, and then this first episode, episode 5, was kind of the start of a new little mini arc that progressively got better over the next 3 weeks.
And I think my only complaint so far with these 3 episodes, episode 5, I think, is the worst out of the 3 that we're going to talk about.
It's the start.
I'm kind of already ready to move on from Sid. Like, we're doing 3 jobs, 3 different episodes. We get the premise of it. Do we need 3 episodes doing the same thing? Yeah, each episode we run into somebody new. So, continuing with this episode, though, the whole point is they are trying to rescue a child named Moochie from Zygerian slavers. Now, we've seen Zygerians before. Me and you play the Old Republic. Yep. You are still just watching.
I want to play Mario Kart.
Pay attention, bro.
Ignoring you watching Bowser.
You are looking right over my shoulder. I can see your eyes glossing over. If you are watching on YouTube or you're listening on YouTube, look at the video and you will see this is Weasley Morlock Canadian. This
$10,000 sponsor.
$10,000 Platco sponsor. This is his arcade machine.
You can see the level of the level of sponsorship in this theater room that we're in right now.
Yeah, exactly. So we've seen the Zygerians because they're the cat people in the Old Republic game, the PC game.
So one of the character races you can pick.
Yeah, so we've seen them before. I love the look of them. I mean, I'm waiting for them to bust out in song and dance and, just start performing Cats. But, of course, that doesn't happen.
That new Cats movie with Taylor Swift was super weird.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, it looked weird. And then they looked too close, and then the Netflix show Sweet Tooth was born.
Oh, that show's so good.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. So, of course, they find out that Moochie is a giant rancor. So,
yeah, they assume it's the little kid.
Yeah,
it's not a kid.
It's not a kid. And, Clone Force 99, kind of, once again, they get Dodo captured, but in their defense, it's this cool dragon. It reminded me of Avatar.
Echo went up onto a little watchtower situation, and that's when they see there's a giant Avatar dragon situation guarding them.
And I think it's cool. It reminded me of it looked more Nazgul-like than Avatar, but what I can't remember what they're called, but I enjoyed it. I would love to see more of those because it reminds me of
I like seeing big creatures. Because in Star Wars Galaxies, one of the jobs you could have was a Beastmaster.
Yes.
And it was one of the coolest jobs.
Yep.
So I like seeing that. We know Beastmasters are a thing. We get Beastmasters in Return of the Jedi. That's the weird, dirty fat guy who cries when the Rancor gets killed because that's like his child almost. I love seeing more of that, like these giant alien creatures that somebody has trained. I love it. It's universe building.
And we got that in the very first episode of Mandalorian.
Yep.
We get the big space walrus. Then in the very first episode of Mandalorian Season 2, we get the Krayt Dragon.
Yep.
We're seeing more of these and Revenge of the Sith. We have the
big, large
Boga
monsters
that Obi-Wan rides in Revenge of the Sith.
The
lizard.
Varactyl.
I don't know. I always say Boga, and it was called a Boga. Anyway, there's him, the Varactyl. And then in Force Awakens, we have the Roly Balls. Their name's escaping me, of course, right now.
The little
Relcaths. In Force Awakens, Han Solo's capturing them for a job.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. That's trapped in the ship. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So just more of these big monsters, like we're saying.
Force Awakens, we also get the ones they ride through the fields on what's the casino planet's name? Drawing a blank.
The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Faviers.
Yes.
Faviers. Yeah, the Faviers, like a horse, like super, super cool. And like you said, that's more
Give
world
us more
building.
Cool giant things like that.
Yeah, give me. How do we not have an actual mythosaur yet?
Yeah. Like a cannon.
Give me a cannon.
What it looks like, what it was alive.
Well, we have EU versions of it. It's a big giant. It's literally a dragon. I'd like to see more of it. So, Dodo Force 99. Look, Clone Force. We love you, but you do stupid things sometimes. Okay, they get captured. Immediately captured, and Omega sets them free, and she's actually pretty smart about it. So before she gets captured, her idea is, oh my gosh, I'm going to let this little tiny Rancor out. And she does. And of course, we come to find out that is Moochie. You are still watching.
I'm doing both.
I'm going to have to turn this thing off.
I'm doing both.
So
I'm going to look over to the right.
Just look that way. How is it over there?
It's not as fun.
So she lets Mochi out. And long story short, Wrecker ends up having to challenge the Rancor. The Rancor will only calm down and listen to something that is more powerful and
I
more
did
strong.
like this. They basically wear each other out.
Yeah, I loved it. I need somebody to TikTok this with, it's John Cena, bam, bam, just Wrecker and him in them fighting. A key part of this episode that I really liked is Omega picking up the bow. I thought that was such a cool weapon. And
it was like a light bow. I don't know what you would call it.
And it reminds me of, if you're a Bleach fan, there's a very similar weapon to that where they character creates a bow out of light and energy, which is super, super cool. And of course, they capture the...
Wait, was that this episode or was that the next episode?
She gets it this episode. The next episode, she's training with it.
Okay.
So they get Moochie, of course, which was the Rancor, and they bring it in. Then we see Bib Fortuna again, which...
Picking it up from Sid.
I'm wondering if the voice actor that did this Bib Fortuna is the same Bib Fortuna that we see at the end of Mandalorian Season 2 at the introduction of Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
because
that's the same one that was in the prequel movies.
In Phantom Menace, yeah. That was just super, super cool. So I don't think it is. It's probably... his name's escaping me. It's the guy that does all of Clone Force 99.
Tamora Morrison?
No, the voice actor. Tamora doesn't do Clone Force 99. It's Brent something. That's probably wrong. Anyway, this episode, once again, I think this was the weakest of the three. Not much more to say on it.
Especially because we all thought that this was the Rancor from Jabba's palace, which gave us like this cool
idea to talk about.
Nostalgia / canon building, like seeing like the baby version of what you see die,
tying it in.
It wasn't, and it's kind of, especially when you see Bib come in, like you like,
I know,
logically puzzle pieces fit together so well that like you just kind of assume
there's got to be more of an explanation as to why not, or they just really dropped the ball on connecting those two together. Episode 6. This is where things actually start really picking up, in my opinion. It starts getting good. Disconnected.
This is a redeeming episode of Clone Wars Season 7, too.
Oh, 100%. So it turns out after last week's episode, once again, we're still on Ord Mantell with Sid, like I was saying. Yeah, we're back with Sid.
Omega's training with her bow.
And they figure out that the tactical droids that the Separatists used in the Clone Wars, the Empire now has possession of them.
Which were the ones, if you remember, they got like the rectangle heads, I would call it.
Yeah, rectangle heads. We see that's like the one that Anakin pulls to him in the beginning of Clone Wars Season 7.
Oh yeah, that was
they're on the bridge
leading the B1s. Yeah.
Yep, he pulls it to it, cuts its head off. They're using these tactical droids to create war plans. So they need to capture these because they're able to get this information and understand how the Empire's working.
Yeah.
Very similar plot point to other Clone War episodes we had already seen, except the Separatists, now it's the Empire.
Right.
So nothing super new, but...
I like it. They said that most of the Empire is all now chip-controlled clones, and these tactical droids have the most knowledge of how to fight clones.
Yeah.
So it logically makes sense. Like, that's why this would be super valuable information to anybody.
Yeah.
Because now the superpower, here's this old droid, which we get to end up learning is in a decommissioning facility, which was, we'll talk about more when we get to there. But it has literally infinite amount of knowledge of specifically fighting clones.
Yeah.
So that's a awesome idea, the way they wrote that. Like, that fits so nicely together.
And like you said, we can just go straight to the decommissioning factory. It's guarded by a bunch of police droids.
I loved this.
I did too, but didn't you think it was weird? Like, they have all of these battle droids, and they're like, hey, let's make new droids.
Yeah, like the droid decommissioning unit is controlled by security droids.
It's part of the machine. This is all Palpatine's plan. You can't end the Clone Wars, but you still have Separatist battle droids walking
that
around.
Was a weird way to say that word. Separatist.
That was like a stutter, a hiccup, and a burp all
like
at
a
once.
British accent.
Yes.
I did love, because we always kind of had like mentioned or talked about like what the heck happened to all of these droids, which in oh my gosh, what's the novel's Aftermath?
Yeah.
Why Bones, which was the coolest customized battle droid ever. Like, but like, why was he so rare? Like, what was special about him? There was millions, if not billions, of battle droids that were all cheesy, worthless.
Hundreds of battle droids.
They're like not efficient. Like, where did they all go? What about the droidicas? What about the B2 battle droids? Like, where are all of these like thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of droids after the Republic fell and they defeated the Trade Federation? Like, what happened to them?
Where'd they go?
So it was a cool way to like give us an answer to that. Like, not a major question we've had, but it's just like it's world building where things like, oh, like here's like a puzzle piece, like boom, now this question is gone.
Yeah. And so when they get to the decommissioning factory, they immediately recognize their target, which is the head, the thinking unit, the computer of this.
I like it was only the head.
It was
None of
only the
body.
head. Nothing. They just needed the head. Now, last week we were out of town on a little trip, and we did not record for this episode. And I didn't get a chance to watch it on Friday. I actually watched it late.
Once you got home.
When I heard...
Who was in it?
When I heard that the Martez sisters were back, I'm not going to lie, I was mad. I was like, seriously, like...
Me. I was too.
I'm like, this to me feels like we're pushing an agenda. There are so many people that didn't like them. In my experience, I felt like more people did not like them than people that liked them.
Yeah, 100%.
Now they're back. I will say, I'm kind of in on the Martez sisters after this episode.
They were done way better.
Way better. Like, they weren't
so bumbling
yes.
dum-dums that were just making stupid choices and decisions.
Yep. So,
I mean, it could have been just time and experience. Like, they've matured into different people, which they're working with the fledgling rebellion.
Trace was so infuriating by her stupid spice move that it made me hate both of them. And Rafa's attitude, I couldn't get with it. It was annoying to me, to be quite honest. But this episode, like you said, it's clear that they're working with the adolescent rebellion. That's not even the word.
Yeah,
rebellion's not even adolescent.
Yeah, it was
They're a
resistance
cell. They're
movement.
a cell, just like Phoenix Squad was.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So, you know, we see them come up. We have a little interaction between Rafa and Omega. You know, they're fighting on the conveyor belt. And at this time, they have to shut down the factory. It had been shut down. They need to reactivate the factory. And it's up to Wrecker to flip the switch. And Wrecker at this point has been having headaches,
yeah.
And they're getting more frequently. And
very easily set up. You knew what was coming.
Oh, 100%. And of course, finally, we have the mantra. After bumping his head, Wrecker says, "Good soldiers follow orders."
Yeah, I was wondering...
By our Wreck shirt.
I was wondering if he was going to flip right then when he said that, but then he kind of shakes it off.
And I thought that he was going to kind of flip then too. And it's foreshadowing, right? Like we knew it was going to happen at some point. And then so of course Wrecker picks himself back up. He's able to kind of get over the inhibitor chip, which they've all done to this point. But we're going to get into it.
Wrecker's the only one though that's visibly or verbally fighting the chip in moments.
Crosshair.
Well, yeah, Crosshair.
Crosshair was fighting.
I'm talking about the rest of the Bad Batch.
Are you upset that we've had no Crosshair?
I was going to get into that after the next episode.
Okay, we'll save it then. So of course they get the facility back up and running. I did like the back-to-back shooting with Rafa and Hunter, just taking out all the very, very Clone Wars. Like once again, they're fighting.
Each one kept saving the other one, where they thought they were like cocky, and then the other one shoots and kills somebody they didn't see.
Yeah, and I liked Once again, I liked that they were there doing a mission. They don't have Ahsoka's help. They don't have Rex's help. Maybe Rex gave them the intel, which we'll get into later. But they're there doing this themselves, which gave me an appreciation for them more.
Right.
And it's funny, I told you, I was like, how dumb are we going to be talking so much crap about the Martez sisters, and they're literally one of the cells that helps create the rebellion.
Yeah, but they were not written well or
no, they weren't.
Likable in...
Way better
their
this
introduction
time.
in season 7 of Clone Wars.
Way better this time.
Much, much, much more likable people, characters, decisions that they make. It's not necessarily who they were. It was just they frustrated you and irritated you to watch in Clone Wars. This way they're awesome. Like I loved them together.
The other thing too is like when they were introduced, I understand like everyone's got to have a backstory, and we always talk about that. Why'd they have to be mechanics? Why is like every random person from Star Wars like a mechanic? Yeah. Like, that's something that was brought up about them. Oh, you know, they're mechanics. Like, we get this all the time. But So they're in possession of the head of the separatist tactical droid and everything.
Fighting over it, back and forth.
Back and forth. They get the idea, Trace gets the idea, to use it to control all of the battle droids.
Yeah.
We have the funniest part, in my opinion, of this episode, which is we need a distraction. And then Rafa comes in and goes, we need a distraction. She's like, is there an Echo in here? And Echo goes like, yes, what do you need? And she's like, what? And he's like, I'm Echo. And she's like, you're Echo. He's like,
that was great.
It was great. That was pretty good. Whoever wrote that, hands off to you. I really enjoyed that part. So they use the battle droid to their advantage, the tactical droid. And, of course, they activate all the B1s and all the B2s to then attack all the security and police droids. So when they get out, Hunter kind of does the right thing. Hunter gives them...
Well, let's we see who did it? Was it Tech or was it Echo that threw him the spike that they plug into the...
Tech actually plugs it in.
So Tech plugs that in, and that's what they're able to
It's
then...
a data cylinder, a large data cylinder.
That's what allows them to be able to flip all the battle droids on. But what he didn't tell them is he's copying the data onto that spike, so it doesn't matter what happened to the head.
And I can't remember if it was the book or if it was... No, it was one of the books. Remember, because we always wondered what the little things...
Oh, the code cylinders?
The code cylinders.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. He's got a really big one.
Yeah.
You know, that he uses. So, like we were saying, they give it over to them because Hunter really thinks that they're going to use it. Because they have a lot of banter back and forth about the war being over. You know, Rafa has her line about...
kind of on the same side.
And Rafa says, at the end of the day... She says, I'll tell you this, at the end of the day, everyone chooses sides.
Yeah, which she wouldn't do in last scene in Season 7 of Clone Wars.
Exactly. She had loyalties to nobody. It was just her and her sister.
Yep.
They were out for themselves. And I'm trying to think of who else that reminds me of. That reminds me of... kind
of a Jinner.
Jin, and that's what Jin. Yeah. It reminds me of a Jin, like loyal to nothing, only loyal to her, and then ends up, fighting for the rebellion. So
the thing that frustrates me is if the Bad Batch and Echo obviously have this ability to just copy the information, why didn't you copy it twice?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
Why would you not copy it twice and give them a copy of the information and then deliver your other copy to Sid?
Let me see
because
if it says.
In the next episode, Sid says how you guys botched the botched the job and she didn't get it, and that was counted against them. Like they were not able to pay off their debt that they had. So they obviously didn't do that, which it drove me insane. Like, why did you not copy it twice?
Yeah, and that's a great segue right into the next episode. And before we go there, as they leave, they talk to a hooded, cloaked figure on a hologram using R7. And R7 was the giveaway for me. And the reason why is because the Jedis all had their own individual droids, right, for their ships. But, like, Obi-Wan had R5, Anakin had R2, Rex had R7. And the reason we know that is because the 501st ship that we see in the end of Season 7 of Clone Wars, R7 is one of the droids that helps Ahsoka. It's that burgundy and gold one that helps her get the chip out of Rex.
She's running. Yeah, and she has a little fleet of droids helping her.
And at the very end, when she's buried all the clones, there is a astro droid underneath that Y-wing that's put together, and it's R7. So R7 has been rebuilt at this point.
And they made it a point to say R7 clearly and, like, not in another line of dialogue, but say R7 clearly, I think 2 different times, which was a huge signal to me.
Yeah.
And the fact that in, what was it, the second episode, they already mentioned Rex specifically and said, oh, Rex had just been here when they went and they met with the other ex-clone.
They
cut and run episode.
And I'm also hoping that...
Take that, Jonathan. You were wrong.
Yeah, you were. Well, I the theory that I heard and I really liked is, what if Rafa and Trace were talking to somebody from, like, the crime syndicate? What if they were talking to Maul? What if they were talking to Dryden Voss? Like,
that could have been an interesting twist.
You know what the sad part is? I really think that people would have made it a racial issue if they had
been doing something wrong. And I'm not saying that's why they went with what they did. Obviously, Rex was the absolutely made the most sense choice.
I would have. I'm so eager for Solo 2 that I would have loved to have.
Oh, we got a little bit of news about a possible Solo 2.
Check out this Rey episode we're gonna do, because we got a lot of Star Wars news to talk about. I really wanted it to be just something a little bit deeper, like I said. But I think that with Rex, I think that this is an obvious link to Ahsoka, but Ahsoka's kind of also doing her own thing right now. She's chasing, basically helping with the rebellion. She's doing her own thing right now, and right now she's in her book. That's why her and Rex aren't together. She's in her Ahsoka book. So if you've read the Ahsoka book, you would know why.
Definitely pick that up or listen to that if you haven't.
This episode, this is a 7 out of 10 for me. I like this one.
I give this a 7 out of 10. I'm almost right on the same score with you.
Yeah, I could go higher if there was a little bit more action.
I'm just trying to see what's going on over there behind
I know you are. You forget. Let's talk about episode 7, Battle Scars. Now, I love the name of this episode, so I'm just going to cut straight to the end. Battle Scars to me is a complete reference. You notice when we get introduced to Rex, what does Rex have on him?
His little scar on his not side of his head, but
the temple, the frontal lobe area. And by the end of this episode, every member has a patch over their head, which will have the
Hunter's
scar
hidden by his headband. I'm assuming.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I was waiting for them to have to shave his head.
Yeah.
And they never shaved his head. I'm guessing they just said it was under the headband.
I loved it though. Like, this episode to me was super, super good, and we have a lot of ties to other Star Wars continuity in this one. So Battle Scar wastes absolutely no time, which is exactly why this episode finally
back on Ord Mantell, back with Sid.
But right away.
I guess it starts with like the other. That's right, I forgot. It started with the end of a mission.
Yeah, so it starts with the end of the mission. They go and they get their Mantell mix. Now, do you know where that Mantell mix is from? I texted you this.
Yes, I'll let you tell. You sent me the picture of it.
So now I did see this on Twitter, but being the Batu fiend that I am, I definitely would have picked up on this. I absolutely love Batu. It is quite literally my favorite place on planet. Shout outs to Batu East. It is stop looking.
But they just got a blue shell.
It's the popcorn from the street vendors in
multicolored popcorn.
Dude, it was so cool. Once again, just like we talked about the Star Lore episode about these Batu being a real place, being chronologically tied in, like they're not going anywhere.
Right.
And we literally have a real world snack that you can go and buy
that existed before it existed anywhere else.
And now it's canon. Like it's in both. It was super, super cool.
You can get the blue milk there, but the blue milk we've had since A New Hope. Like that was, they were copying something on screen. Yeah. This was, as far as I know, like this was the first time I've seen it anywhere. They created it in Batu first, and now it's in a TV show. Yeah, it's awesome. And it's like, we've never seen super real world type food. I think the closest we've gotten is maybe Attack of the Clones when Padme and Anakin are eating on Naboo. Like they're sitting at an actual table. A little picnic.
No, when they're sitting at the table and he's using the Force to give her like the pear.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? Like that looked like real world food. We don't have like the little, snack kits that like Luke had on Dagobah, and now this is popcorn. I mean, this is popcorn. This is real life food that we had in Star Wars. I super, super enjoyed that. Continuing on with the episode, Wrecker's headaches are getting worse. We have the introduction of Rex. Dude, I cheered a little bit when it was Rex.
So they made him very, I feel, purposely Jedi-esque in that robe and the hood. Yeah. So I felt so dumb for even thinking this, but I don't care. I'll still tell the story. So when they do it, he's very shadowed. It's a hood, and all you see is the bridge of somebody's nose. And I, for some reason, got super excited. I was like, oh my God, it's Ezra Bridger. Like, not even remotely the right timeline. But he just had that really wide... You know how wide the bridge of Ezra's nose is? Yeah. Which, when you look at a clone, yes, they both have it that same way. And they're both that darker skin color. It's not like a bright white. They're like a darker tan skin color person. Yeah. And I just felt like such an idiot for even thinking that when I'm the one who said, oh, it's going to be Rex. And I'm like, oh, it's Ezra.
The funny thing about that is like Ezra is still just like... Ezra's probably still with his parents at this point.
He's probably not even born yet.
Yeah, he's
I don't know why I thought it.
You big dodo.
It's like you ever like thought something and then immediately been like, you freaking idiot.
Yeah, listen, just you slap yourself a little bit. Yeah,
I'll still tell the story.
I
It was hilarious.
I totally get what you're saying. And then Rex, comes in and really starts explaining to them the severity of their situation. He's explaining the inhibitor chips. He's already had the surgery.
Like the tension he starts to...
Dude, he immediately goes for the blaster.
When he finds out they have their inhibitors still active, still in them.
Super, like you said, super tense moment. I mean, he was ready to shoot on them, and, they're trying to calm him down. So even Rex is showing his PTSD type, stuff. Like, this is the stuff that we talk about so much that we want from Star Wars.
It had to be such a crazy, traumatic experience, like shooting your brothers,
yeah,
barely not killing one of your closest friends, and everything that happened. Like, he's got to be, like, on guard.
He had to fight Jesse, like, one of his ARC Trooper brothers. Like, anyway, that's a whole nother thing. This is the stuff that we want so much more
and I
of.
like we got a little throwback to Fives and how Fives was trying to warn him.
Yeah. Brings up Fives, and he brings up Fives in a way that they know Fives.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tying in this brotherhood of like, oh yeah, he didn't say this other brother Fives. He just said Fives. Mm-hmm. Like, so they know who Fives is as well.
I also found it extremely cool and world building how Omega immediately knew which basically batch.
Dude, yes.
Like how I'm
so glad you remembered this.
Like,
she says you're a Generation 1, aren't you?
Yeah, she could tell just by looking at him which generation of a clone
and he
was.
says, how do you know? And she says the lines on your face. Which is cool because that when we think about like botch cloning in Star Wars, there's anything you have a mold, right? Mm-hmm. If their face is getting cleaner and farther away from Jango Fett to Mora Morrison, that means the farther away these shinies are from being as good as Generation 1s. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of funny because think of like Attack of the Clones, and then think of what was the first animated Attack of the Clones? Why can't I think of the
first animated Attack of the Clones? What are you talking about?
On Cartoon Network.
Oh, the Tartakovsky one?
Thank you, Tartakovsky's. Okay. Aren't the clones so much more BA? Yeah. Than the clones that we get. Yeah. But this kind of like gives credence to that because she's like, oh, you're Generation 1.
They're almost slowly like depreciating into stormtroopers.
Exactly. Like they're getting farther away from the original recipe. Yeah. For the clones. So yeah, I'm so glad you remembered that. So they get their next mission, which is they got to get the chips out, and they go somewhere that we've seen before. I don't know if you caught this. We go to Baraka.
Yes, it sounded super familiar, and I didn't spend the time to look it up, but I was like, I know this name of this planet.
So Baraka is where we start in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This is the entire scrapyard.
That's where he's working.
Yep.
Okay.
So they're destroying all the Republic ships, which I still want more information on what you're doing with this metal. Is this what you're using to create Star Destroyers? Mm-hmm. Like what are
salvaging, like melting it down, pulling the fuel cells and that type of stuff out of all these ships? It makes sense.
Yeah. There's actually not,
especially because the Jedi cruise that was there, they said it was one of the first off of the line, so it's an old cruiser. It's not like an end of the Republic cruiser.
Yeah. And they need this for the medical bay, which is where Rex's operation took place.
With Ahsoka and R7.
There's really not a ton to talk about in this episode. It was super action-packed, very horror film-esque. Mm-hmm. Wrecker's chip activates.
And, before we even get there, I thought we were going to get a canon visual depiction of what the trash compactor monster was at first.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Because all you saw, it looks like trash compactor, like it's water and just junk, and you see a tentacle, and I'm like, oh my god, are we gonna fully see what the trash compactor monster in A New Hope actually looked like? And I don't think it was. I think it was too big.
So I have a theory, and I meant to cross-reference and look. I think you know where this monster's from? Mandalorian season 2.
You think it's the same thing?
The mouth that comes up and eats Baby Yoda. I think it's
it's that same thing?
I think it's the same thing.
It almost had a Sarlacc pit looking mouth.
Well, and it looks just like the roly things from A New Hope. It was big, it was round, it had all the hands and the tentacles. Bro, this is the second time you're forgetting this. In the beginning of A New Hope, Han Solo is capturing all these big, giant meatballs that have tentacles.
You said A New Hope.
Oh, yeah, that's my bad. Force Awakens.
Okay.
Now I'm the idiot. I'm going to go jump off this balcony. I just assumed you weren't paying attention because you were watching Mario Kart again. Multitasking. Force Awakens.
Yes, okay.
Sorry,
Gotcha,
it's just when
gotcha.
you remake a movie twice, you kind of go with the one that's better. Yeah. Anyway, it looked like those.
Yeah. It was a cool monster. I was just hoping, because I don't think we've ever seen what was in the trash compactor fully.
Probably not fully.
So
we
I
can see it at
like,
that too as well, though.
It was a cool monster, period. But that would have been a neat reference if it would have been that same.
And once again,
something that eats, I don't know, metal.
I liked the idea of like tying more into the old movie. Speaking of A New Hope, this is probably why I was thinking of it. When they go into the trash compactor and like, oh, what an amazing smell you've discovered. When Wrecker goes down there, he's like, how are you? He's like, oh, it stinks down here. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It reminded me of A New Hope a little bit, but so they obviously, Wrecker's chip goes off and then he is stunned and he's put into surgery. In that time, he
almost takes out Omega.
Dude, he chokes out Tech. Okay, he just judo chops Rex in the face, knocks him out. Dark Trooper slams Mando into the wall like Hunter.
Hunter was the only one who gave him a little bit of a fight,
and it wasn't much of a fight.
Yeah.
Like, this shows like how strong
he is. Yeah.
Wrecker is. And dude, Omega was about to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love that shot where she was just pulling on the trigger. And it's funny because if you've actually shot guns before, or you've done advanced work on guns, when you upgrade triggers, you have what's called a hair trigger. So on deer rifles and large caliber hunting rifles, you want as little play as possible, so that when you're placing your shot, you barely touch the trigger and it fires. Handguns, on the other hand, usually have large 5 to 7 pound trigger pulls, meaning there's a lot of play in there. And I appreciated the detail of her pulling on that trigger and it not going off.
Yeah.
To me, that was just
her hesitation.
Yeah, just more real world stuff. But all of the surgeries are successful, and all of Clone Force 99 no longer has their chips. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I love the direction it's going. I am thoroughly disappointed we haven't seen Crosshair.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm hoping that...
But at the end of this episode, we have them being spotted by the Scrapper Guild, and what do?
They notify the Empire.
So I'm really hoping that episode 8 is really where we pick up.
I'm hoping this was kind of the end of that little arc.
Yeah.
Because it was the whole arc with Wrecker's headaches and all that, and now that's all done. And I'm hoping now we're going to do like another 3 or 4 episode arc of the Bad Batch versus Crosshair and his salvation, hopefully. Yeah. I'm hoping they save him.
I was a little upset by the idea of Rex departing from them so soon, because he seems like he's got his own thing that he's got to go do.
Yeah, but they leave it where like they know how to get hold of each other.
Yeah, so we could definitely see more of him. Closing, once again, episode 5 wasn't a huge fan of, especially when we found out that Mochi.
This was a great 3-episode upswing. Like, each one ticked
2
up.
episode, yeah.
Each one...
Oh, well, yeah, 3.
Each one ticked up, I would say, by 2 points.
Yeah.
I would say we started at a 5, and then went to a 6 or 7, and then ended at maybe an 8.
Dude, and I don't think we're very negative, but man, we were just tearing this show apart in Discord.
Oh, nothing was happening.
Nothing was happening. We were upset, and like you said, this has really been a 3-episode uptick. That is the best way to put it. I mean, it really went to an upward swing.
It kind of makes me feel like we might switch the way we've been covering the show, because the episodes individually, they're not as interesting to talk about, but when we can look at them in a little cluster like this,
yeah,
it makes it a lot more interesting and a lot more positive and talkable points.
And we don't, I don't think either of us want to do our Mando style recap of these episodes.
Not like a play-by-play of every scene.
I mean, it's just like last episode. They go to a new planet and they take out their chips. That is the basis of the episode, Yeah. So we are, finding the things that we really, really enjoy, talking about. So yeah, and we have so much to talk about. We've got Loki. We're going to do an episode on Loki. That's coming out. Cantina of Heroes is coming back.
We need to talk about Sweet Tooth for sure.
There's so much to talk about. So probably going back
Black
to...
Widow comes out in less than a month now.
I hope that movie's good. After this wait, it's got to be one of the best Marvel movies, or it's going to be
I don't think it needs to be one of the best Marvel movies, but I just
for
don't want
me
it to be
does.
stupid.
No, hopefully it's not. Taskmaster better be.
It's got a good cast in it. So that being said,
guys, Thank you for joining us. That was really loud. Sorry, my bad.
Sign up for Patreon so you can listen to the episode that will be recorded later today.
Yes, we will have our second Patreon exclusive episode, and that's coming out soon. And this week coming up, we have the first episode of Loki. Cantina of Heroes is back. We'll be covering that. I think we'll be making it its own episode, and then we'll also be having a bonus episode coming out talking about Rey.
Some sweet behind-the-scenes pictures that we just got released.
Exactly. Guys, thank you very much for joining us this week at KonKon's Cantina. Bye.
Okay, see you.